Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on the time you'll be watching this video. Welcome again to Maven's Enterprise, where we make things simple for you guys to understand and apply out there. Okay, so today is our lesson 2. We are breaking down Forex, and today we are talking about the Forex trading sessions. Okay, Forex trading sessions. Like I said, this is lesson 2. For those who haven't seen or watched lesson 1, please I advise you to go back and watch lesson 1 before you go to lesson 2, more especially if you're a beginner and you want to venture in Forex trading, and more especially also if you are in Zambia. Okay, so we are going to talk about the trading sessions. I'm sure you have heard the saying which goes like time is money. Yeah, time, if well applied, is actually money. In Forex also, they have time. They have divided the market in, say, into sessions where whereby when one session ends, another session begins. Okay, so what you have to know as an aspiring trader, or as a trader who is already trading but not finding profit or anything like that, the first thing you have to know is that you have to control your time. You have to control your time. Okay, so your timing is everything for you as a trader. Okay, so your timing is everything for you as a trader. Okay, just like the market also has time, you also need to plan and make yourself available in the market when you want to. You need to gain control of time. Let not time control you, but gain control of time. Okay, so there are basically 4 trading sessions in Forex. There are basically 4 trading sessions in Forex. So these trading sessions, we have the Sydney session, you have the Tokyo session, the London session, and the New York session. Okay, so there are basically 4 trading sessions in Forex: the Sydney session, the Tokyo session, the London session, and the New York session. So these sessions, as you can see, they are dependent on the continent they are from. Okay, they are dependent on the continent they are from. Okay, so we have the Sydney session where the Sydney market is open, the Tokyo session where the Tokyo market is open, the London session where the London market is open, and of course the New York session where the United States market is open. The Sydney session, what happens in the Sydney session? Okay, so the times that I'm going to give you, these are exclusively Zambian times. Okay, I've converted them from the usual US times that you find on the internet. There is also the GMT time there on the internet, all those Eastern Standard Time to Zambian time. Okay, so this Sydney session, it opens at 23 hours, that is 23 p.m., and it closes at 8 hours, that is 8 a.m., that is Zambian time. So from 23 hours to 8 hours, you have the Sydney session. Okay, so this Sydney session, if you look at it, it is linked to Australia, sorry, it is linked to Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so the Sydney session is linked to Australia and New Zealand. Remember, in Australia, what currency do we have? We have the AUD, which is the Australian dollar. In New Zealand, what currency do they use? They use the NZD, which is the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so during this session, the Sydney session, the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are going to be most active because their market is open. Okay, so for us in Zambia, that time is between 23 hours and 8 hours. That's when these guys, they are trading, they are into the market, the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so therefore, any pair that is going to be linked to these, that is going to be linked to with the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, it is going to move during that time. That is 23 hours to 8 hours. It is going to move the most during that period of time. Okay, so let's see some of the examples that we can see that moves during that time. Okay, so you have the Australian dollar USD, which is a major pair. This one, why is it a major pair? Again, go back to lesson 1 and see why we said the Australian dollar and USD is a major pair. You also have the New Zealand USD, which is also another major pair. Okay, we have the New Zealand JPY. Okay, so this also is going to move in Sydney session. Why? Because it has got the New Zealand part. The New Zealand, which is linked to the Asian session or the Sydney session, sorry. Okay, so you also have the Australian dollar, the JPY. You also have the Great British Pound, Australian dollar. You also have the Euro, New Zealand. So these pairs, they are going to move in Sydney session. So for those people who are in Zambia and you want to trade Sydney session, so you time yourself, you say, okay, Sydney session is from 23 hours to 8 hours. So during that period in time, I'll only be trading the pairs that are moving the most in that session. And these are the pairs that move the most in the Sydney session. Okay, moving on. So the next session we have is the Tokyo session. So Tokyo session, this session is the session is linked to Japan. This session is linked to Japan. Okay. The Tokyo session is linked to Japan and the other Asian countries. Okay. So the Japanese yen is going to move during this session because it is linked to Japan. And what are the times in Zambia during okay, the times in Zambia, we have from 02 hours to 11 hours in the morning. Okay, so from 02 to 11 hours in the morning, the Tokyo session is open. Okay, and all the JPY pairs are going to be most active during that period in time. Okay, all the JPY pairs are going to be active during that period in time. So remember, the first video we looked at the JPY pairs, the cross pairs of JPY, and these are the JPY pairs that are going to move during that period. Okay, so from 02 to 11 hours, the JPY pairs, they're going to be most active because that is the Tokyo session. The session, their session is open and the guys are trading there, so they are active. Okay, the next session, which is my favorite, is the London session. Okay, so the London session in Zambia, it is from 9 hours to 18 hours. That is the London session. In Zambia, it is from 9 hours to 18 hours. That is the London session. Okay, so the London session is linked to the UK and the Europe. Okay, so this is linked to the UK and Europe. So all the currency pairs that are in UK and Europe, they're going to be volatile during that period in time. Okay, so these are the pairs that move during that period. You can see you have the Euro GBP, you have the Euro CHF, you have the Euro card, all the Euro crosses here and the GBP crosses. Okay, so the Euro crosses and the Great British Pound crosses, they're going to be active during that that period. You have the GBP, JPY, GBP CAD, GBP Australian dollar, GBP CHF. All these they're going to be, they're going to be active. So why do I like the London session? I like the London session because by 9 hours I'm already up to like see the market how it is moving. So I know that I'll be able to catch the moves that I want. Okay. And if you can see from 9 hours to 18 hours is the London session. If we just go back to the Tokyo is from 11 hours, from 02 hours to 11 hours. So there is an overlap. So during this period, most of the pairs are active because there's an overlap of Tokyo and the London session. Okay, no wonder I like this trading session so much because pairs are so volatile and they move so quick. Okay, the other session that we have is the New York session. Okay, so like the name says, New York, this is from the United States. Okay, so in Zambia, the New York session is from 14 hours to 23 hours. So from 14 hours Zambian time to 23 hours, that is the New York session. And after the New York session, again, the Sydney session starts. No wonder Forex is a 24/7, 24/5 market, 24 hours in 5 days. Okay, like we said in the first video. So the New York session will be, of course, linked to the USA. And one major thing to note about the New York session is that all pairs will be moving during this session, like the New York session. Why is it like that? So if you look at the United States dollar, the US dollar, it is the reserve currency of the world. Okay, so it is like the superpower, it's the super currency. Everyone wants to trade with the dollar. Okay, so the dollar does not respect the sessions. It will move in Asia, it will move in Sydney, it will move in Tokyo, it will of course move in the New York session. It is like the reserve. Everyone is buying dollar, selling dollar at any particular time. No wonder all pairs will be active in the New York session. Okay, so I just want to show you how my trading platform looks like. I've said I like making things simple. Okay, so this is how my trading session, my trading platform looks like. If you look at these boxes, so this is a template. Yeah, it's not me who made it. I was just given this template. So if you look at these boxes that are here, so if you look to the left of your screen, those dotted lines there, they indicate the start of the day. Okay, the start of the day. So from this point to this point, to the painting of this small box, that is my Asian session there. That is my Asian session. Okay, so this point of this chart is 9 hours in Zambia. So 9 hours, this box will start painting. Okay, so it will move from 9 to somewhere 15 hours there to 15 hours in Zambia. Again, 15 hours, that is the start of the New York session. Okay, so that is the Asian session. So in between this box and this box, we have the London session. So that is where the London session A is. And if you can see the red painting there, this shading which is red there, that is my New York session. So that is my New York session, like that. So it is very easy for me to just come to the chart and say, okay, I'm in Asia, I'm in London, I'm in, so without any trouble. But if you don't have any template to use or anything like that, you can just simply time your trading. You know, okay, by this time this session is opening, this session is closing, just like that. You just time your trading. Okay, so we have come to the end of lesson 2 about the trading sessions in Zambian time. Okay, so don't forget to like the video, share, comment. uh, any questions that you have, comment in the comment section, and see you in lesson 3.